Incredibly, a bunch of doctors went to Canberra today to protest against fossil fuels. Never mind that they probably got there thanks to fossil fuels. Never mind their whole lives and professions have been built on fossil fuels and the products and energy that they produce. They were today. They were running their political campaign to tell us that fossil fuels are a health hazard. And even more incredible was the Assistant Health Minister, Jed Carney. She was there to help launch their report. There were no new facts in this report, really, just a pull together of all sorts of information from all sorts of sources. It's called Fossil Fuels Are a Health Hazard, and it contains a range of claims and recommendations. Fossil fuels are the primary drivers, they say, of global heating and climate change, well recognised as the greatest public health threat facing humanity. But it also cites air pollution and talks about cancer and heart problems and lung disease as consequences of fossil fuels. And of course, the alarmist claims were given prominent publicity without any questioning or scepticism from the taxpayer-funded media.
Phasing out of fossil fuels, scrapping of fossil fuel subsidies and a ban on fossil fuel advertising. Rachel Hayder reports.
Most of us know by now that smoking kills, but today doctors are adding to that message.
Smoke kills, whether it's coming from a cigarette, a car exhaust or a coal mine. It gets into our lungs and bloodstreams and causes disease, disability and death.
Now, this is extraordinarily naive and misleading stuff from these doctors and the politicians and the journalists who amplify their claims, because there is nothing that has been more important in underpinning our prosperity, our technology and good health in modern civilization than fossil fuels. It's the abundant energy from fossil fuels, the building materials made through the burning of fossil fuels, the transport driven by fossil fuels and the plastics made from fossil fuels that provide us with housing, with workplaces, schools and hospitals, food, heating, cooling and lighting, our medical technology and drugs and life-saving machines, our prosperity and food production and transport systems, you name it. Everything that's created modern civilization has occurred on the back of fossil fuels. Yet this mob say fossil fuels are a health hazard. This planet has never had more people living better lives than they are right now, largely thanks to fossil fuels. That's unarguable. Even though the global population has soared, global poverty has been halved just in recent decades. And our healthcare and nutrition, both fueled by fossil fuels, have seen global life expectancy continue to rise to a pre-COVID age that was the highest ever, and which is set to rise another 5 years to 78 in coming decades. That's globally, of course. It's already much higher than that here. And on top of all that, there are now more kids getting a proper education than ever before, with 50 million more girls alone getting to school in the past 2 decades. Yeah, all of this built on the back of fossil fuels and the energy and resources they produce, which of course ensures we have the steel and plastic for shelter, machinery, appliances and tools. So how can doctors possibly say that fossil fuels are a health hazard? How many lives are sustained, saved, enabled and extended every day thanks to fossil fuels? Well, the answer is all of them, really. So you can say about 8 billion. But in terms of crucial emergencies, there'll be thousands of lives saved every day as people are ferried by petrol-fuelled ambulances and jet-propelled emergency flights. And they're saved in coal-powered operating theatres, and they're kept alive by other electric machinery manufactured from metals that are smelted and plastics that are fabricated from fossil fuels. In net terms, it is just a nonsense to describe fossil fuels as a health hazard. Yet this mob of doctors for the environment want all fossil fuels banned. Patently a ludicrous proposition that would plunge the world into chaos, poverty and poor health. It goes to show just how much inanity there is in public debate right now. These people ignore the science, the engineering, the facts and the reality, and they go with emotive, politically charged rhetoric that frightens people and holds back progress. Of course, the Greens and the Teals are all in on this mindless nonsense. But don't forget, the Albanese Labor government shared a platform with them and tried to lend credibility to this embarrassing effort. Unless we get some adults running the show, this country will soon face difficulties that make our current cost of living crisis seem like a doddle.